This your boy Theoretical is coming at you with a review discussion of episode 1 of One Punch Man. Now, before I start the review discussion, I have to say that I am quite impressed on Madhouse's animation skills. Like, I thought with One Punch Man, with Murata Yusuke, Murata Yusuke, yeah, that's the author of One Punch Man. I thought that with his dynamic panels that they wouldn't be able to capture all the little details of the animation. Now, I won't give them a 5-star promotion on that because it's particular scenes in the series that have yet to be animated, and I want to truly see what Madhouse can do with it. Now, moving on with the review discussion, the episodes first starts off with the invasion by Blue Ball Piccolo, and which I kind of don't understand that, because I would think they would start with chapter 0 instead of the actual first chapter. But the invasion of Blue Ball Piccolo, he destroys the city, and next thing you know, he comes around, meets Saitama. Saitama just blasts him away with one punch, of course, because he is the One Punch Man. And it just that he just didn't take it seriously at all. Saitama didn't take the battle seriously at all. He doesn't really take none of the battle seriously at all. And then you move on to the next segment of the episode, where I believe, it was the backstory of Saitama. Well, it wasn't per se a backstory, but it was I guess you can say it's a backstory. It's a prelude of him being a hero when he goes against the crab, and he encountered the crab, and the crab let him go because he had lifeless eyes, and I guess the crab seen something mutual with him and having lifeless eyes, and I guess the crab wouldn't get a kick out of killing him because, well, he's lifeless, and lifeless people are tend to be nonchalant about their life. And then later on, the crab goes around looking for the Peter Griffin kid with the big bald chin. Saitama sees the kid, talks to the kid, and say, "Hey kid, did you mess with a crab?" And yada yada yada. And next thing you know, the crab appears, and Saitama just went off to mind his own business. And then the crab appears, and then the crab attacks the kid, but Saitama swooped like he usually does. He just moves with jet speed, which is the series is just so funny. What makes it so funny is that it has like a stern tone, but the character himself, Saitama, is just so comedic. But he saves the kid, and they have a discussion, and Saitama says that the crab reminds him of a manga villain. Crab slaps him over there by, I believe it was boxes or something like that, and the beast just came about. Once that happened, Saitama battled the crab, and they've won in a unheroic way of just really ripping the freaking crab's eyes out with the tie that he was looking for a job for. And which I still question that about Saitama. How the heck is he paying rent for his apartment and he just still doesn't have a job? I never understood that. But and then we move on to the next segment of the episode, which was the Attack on Titan theme. I mean, each segment, the first 4 chapters of the series have a particular theme to it. The first theme was more like Dragon Ball's Piccolo. The second theme, the crab, it's some series that reminds me of the crab, but it just doesn't come to mind right now. And then the third segment is the Attack on Titan theme. And there were brothers. One was a scientist, and one was a juiced up iron pumper dude. And don't get that confused with Brian Pumper, okay? But the guy just wanted to become the strongest, and his brother came up with some super soldier syndrome to enhance his strength capabilities. But it honestly did more than that. It mutated him, and then next thing you know, he becomes a colossal giant and start ravaging through the town. And then next thing you know, we see Saitama in the grocery store, which this dude is so ridiculous. You see him in the grocery store. I guess he was buying celery. I don't know what he was buying. And next thing you know, the Titan, the guy that wanted to be the strongest, tore through the city. And Saitama just was like, oh. And then next thing you know, the brother told him, I forgot what exactly he told him, but Saitama, next thing you know, he's on the Titan's shoulder, and the brother asking him, when did you get up here? And he was like, and Saitama said, how does it feel to be the strongest? And then he said, the brother said, swat Saitama off his shoulder, and then he killed his brother, which I didn't get that. Because later on he realized that it was someone else on his shoulder, which was Saitama, but he accidentally killed his brother when he said kill the person on your shoulder. I guess because since his brother was such the loudest that he could hear, that he was just like, oh, okay, and slapped him off the shoulder. And then the next thing you know, he goes all colossal mode, screaming, and he blames Saitama for killing his brother, and smacks Saitama down into a tower. Saitama just sits there. I wouldn't even say he really tanked it. I would just say that, it's freaking Saitama. But next thing you know, he goes all rampaging through the city, with his wind blast, blasting a pretty good radius of the city. And next thing you know, Saitama just comes in and Falcon Punch, Shoryuken right into the jaw, and then it was KO on from there. Couldn't do anything good about it. The series is just so funny. I just can't wait for those of you that don't read the manga. The series is very funny, and you'll see the future parts of it. But and then this next segment of the episode was I believe the car, which no, actually, was it? Yeah, it was the car and the not the Centurions. I'm thinking about Tales of Vesperia right now. I don't know why, but I forgot the creatures that underground Mediterranean, the Terranians, I believe. I forgot the name of them. And they come upon the Earth's surface because they're overpopulating the underground. And I know I completely skipped the guy with they got one punch, and he was a what was that? A vehicle, like a vehicle creature. The guy was just so irrelevant. If this part of the segment of the episode, he just got blasted, one punch, and Saitama just goes home. He lays down and has this dream of the underground dwellers coming into the surface to invade the earth and populate the surface of the earth, because they were overpopulating the underground. And next thing you know, Saitama just gets swatted around for a while, and then Saitama just goes into battle, and he hasn't had a battle like this ever before, and he actually took it serious. I mean, and the animation for this part of the segment, this is what defined what Madhouse could do with One Punch Man. This segment of the episode really showed what Madhouse could do as far as animation wise with One Punch Man, and especially with the scene with the on the highway, when the dwellers smack Saitama across the highway. You see every freaking particle. I don't know, within animation do they really call it particles, but you see the debris, and all the debris being risen from the collision. And then next thing you know, Saitama just gets up, takes this fight so seriously like none before. And then the big boss comes up, and he's getting ready to go at it. Next thing you know, it was just a dream. And what happened after that? It was that he woke up, and the surface dwellers actually come about. But the thing is, they were so it's just so indescribable of what they are. They are not to be taken seriously like they were in the dream. In the dream, they seemed like a formidable foe, but in reality, because Saitama just came down, smacked one of them, and he said, "Let's fight," and the rest of them, they just went back underground and said, "We're sorry for invading the surface." And next thing you know, that was the end of the episode. The animation for this episode it was on point. It was on point. Now, I just want to see what they're going to do with the scene, and this is a spoiler, but I want to see what they do with the scene with Sonic and Saitama fighting. Like, that's going to be a really good animation. That and the fight with the insect and Genos and Saitama. That's going to be a good animated, and I think that's the next episode. But that's going to be a great animation. I want to see what Madhouse can truly do as far as animation wise. I don't want to crown them the quintessential studio for animation now, just because of one episode. This is just one episode. Now, I gotta give it to them for this episode. They did great animation, but I want to see what they can, as the series progress. I want to see what they're able to do with the technology they have for animation. But I'll give this is a pretty good rating for the episode. I'll give it 5 stars. Pros of the episode: obviously the animation, the pacing's a little bit fast, but it's still good. Cons of the episode: I don't have any. I've been wanting this to be animated for so long, and it was a lot of people that doubted that this would be animated, and I told them, like, you could tell by the panels of the manga that it was bound to be animated, because it has a very dynamic art style. Murata has a very dynamic art style with his work, and you can tell that eventually he wanted it to be animated. But the cons of the episode, I have none. I'll give it 5 stars out of 5, and that's it for the review discussion. Ace out.